Hey, this is Corey. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today I would like to talk with you about different investment opportunities and being able to estimate rehab costs, whether it's in the city or whether it's in the suburbs. What I've seen is a lot of the time it is very beneficial to either build a home that might be new construction after knocking one down, rehabbing it, and flipping it, and either selling it for a larger profit or holding on to that property and allowing someone to rent it and create a residual income monthly. What's really important is to look at the different costs that might go into it: the plumbing, the electric, the flooring, the construction, the labor, the materials. Now, over the last year and a half, we've seen that labor and material costs have shot up because of the amount of inventory they have to be able to give that to people that are trying to buy. It's important to buy those in bulk so that you get the best possible price point for the material that you're buying. But at the same point, it's also important to have a general contractor or a GC that you know will work well with you and you can trust. Sometimes what we've seen from a workers' compensating standpoint, or if there's someone that you really don't know that well, is a lot of the job can be done, but if you don't know that person to do that work all the way through in the past, some of the times that can fail. And you may have put a lot of money into that, which we call sunk cost, that you really can't get out of if you can't finish the job. So it's important to find someone that you are able to trust throughout that process. It's also important to know what the market looks like in that area. If there's 5 homes on a block where 4 of them are new construction and the 5th one hasn't been touched in a really long time, then you know that you can get a lot of value for that home, because obviously the price point for it currently is definitely low. And with putting in a certain amount of money that you believe is the right amount to help increase that value of the home, you know that looking at the market, you probably will be able to find a large margin of increase for when you go to sell that home. Specifically if you're a real estate agent, because you're able to understand and know the market better in those places to know if we're going to look at South Philadelphia, for example. Now, South Philadelphia has boomed in the last 2, 3, 4 years with a lot of development and construction companies going in, knocking down a lot of places that you might see and building them up as new construction, either as complexes with multifamily dwellings or single family homes. It's important to also look at the fact that right now, from a seller standpoint, that's considered selling, obviously, the home. So when the inventory goes up in areas where people are trying to look to move into, you know that you can raise the price of that home because there will still be a lot of people looking into buying it. We've even seen development companies obviously make 100-unit places that are multi-zoned with a Target or a Chipotle at the bottom, and residential apartment units on top, which is a little bit on a different scale or a different level than I'm talking about right now. But obviously just on the small scale level, a good book to be able to look at by Jay Scott is the book on estimating rehab costs. Okay, now this breaks down a lot of the different history he's had and experiences with the type of home and knocking it down, what you might need to put into that for the various different sources I put out before, plumbing, for example, electric, for example, and just also having kind of the notion of like an interior decorating mindset or a designer mindset, what you think you can put into the home to be able to create the best value for it. Looking at examples like this, you can kind of get an idea as to what might work for you. You can start off small, flipping one home, and being able to see how you're able to, as a result, then sell that home and have success with it. If you're in a down market at that time, it may not be that area where you want to flip a home. It might be in a South Jersey area where you want to hold on to it and be able to rent it out, like I said before, to have monthly income coming in from those renters. And at a time where the market's back up, you can then sell it for the amount that you believe is the true value for it. These are 2 good examples, from the renting standpoint I said, and then reselling it after remodeling it and rehabbing it, that are important to think about for younger investors that are hungry to want to start to make something happen. Or if you're a real estate agent that maybe there's not a lot of business going on right now for you, maybe from a listings perspective. And if you are an agent, then you probably do have some experience with general contractors in the past that you've worked with or that you can get in connection with maybe get some of a referral or a reference from someone that's maybe used them, so that that they're trustworthy, and then see exactly how that can work. But definitely check into the book, see how that might be able to help get your thought process going, and then see examples driving around where it looks like obviously every other home is new construction versus one that hasn't been touched. Or you might even see one being worked on at that moment in time, or in the position where it's completely zero, where it's knocked down, and the foundation's there, but they have to build it up. And look at those as examples of ways that you could potentially do that as well. Thanks so much for listening. Let me know if you have any other questions on this topic. I'm happy to answer them. Have a good one.